Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. In this week's video, we're gonna make a wooden box with 3D printed threads. Stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Like all projects in the little shop, we're starting down here at wood storage. And I've picked out this blank, which has some really interesting color and some really fun looking grain. So that has nice thick walls, should make turning a box really fun and easy. And now that we have our blank picked out and we know our sizes, we're gonna head up to the office so we can talk about the 3D printer and making some threads. Here we are in my office, and just off to the side of my desk is my 3D printer closet. Up top I keep all my filament, and then down below is the star of the show, my Creality Ender 3 V2. And I know 3D printers are not cheap. However, when you compare them to hand thread chasing tools or thread cutting jigs, they're not that expensive, especially considering for the last 9 months I've had a 3D printer that I've used for all sorts of different projects. And so what we're going to create today are threaded rings for wooden boxes from DVP on Thingiverse. And so we're going to print that file out here and then take it down to the shop and make our threaded box. So here we have our threaded rings ready to go. And now we have to turn the box, which is pretty much exactly the same as any other process, except the one difference is that instead of getting a nice good fit between the lid and the body, what we are going for is a nice tight fit between these two pieces and their threaded rings. Other than that, it's pretty standard. So we're gonna get these pieces thrown on the lathe and start turning. So here we have it. The threads are glued in and the insides of this box is totally finished. And so what we have to do now is just screw the top on and finish the outside. And because it is threaded and the threads are made by a 3D printer, which means they're all identical, when I want to finish this, I can simply get this outside done, and then I will actually screw this body back on. I double print my thread so that I now can make a screw chuck that this screws right into. And since the 3D prints are all identical, I don't have to worry about getting everything lined up. I'll simply be able to screw it on, finish the bottom, and it will be a finished box. So with that said, let's get back to work. Let's finish up this outside perimeter and get a finished product. The astute among you will notice that I am still threaded on at the top, but there's now a hole in the bottom. And that's because I was not paying attention to how much wood there was, and as I was finishing the bottom, I blew out. I cracked the bottom. And so instead of just throwing this piece away, I cut a nice mortise here, and I grabbed an old offcut that I saved from all my projects, and I got that to fit real nice and snug. And so what I'm going to do is I will glue this in place and then flatten the bottom, and it's just going to add a nice little decorative detail. There'll be a nice little maple inlay in the bottom, which saves the piece and ensures that we get to go on. And this might sound weird, but this is a kind of common fix. If you blow out the bottom of boxes, this is a technique or a trick you've probably learned before. And so although I didn't plan on doing it, it is the fix needed to ensure that this project doesn't end up in the trash can. So here it is, our final box, and it came out perfect. The grain is gorgeous, the figure is subtle, and it all pops when you add that oil, which also helps accentuate our bottom, which is a really great way to save a box after a blowout, but also adds a really cool detail that most people will enjoy. But the real talking point here are the threads, and these threads are perfect. They come out exactly as they need to every single time. And I know people will say this is non-traditional, but that's okay. I think this is the perfect way to integrate new technology into the workshop. Not to replace what we do, but to augment what we do. Again, I don't own threading tools. I don't own thread chasers. And so this is a way for me to get threads on boxes without having to worry about investing in those other tools. Yes, you do need a 3D printer, but you can borrow a 3D printer from a library or a makerspace, and you can print these threads off and then bring them back to your workshop if you want to do that. And so if that is something you would like to do, check out the link below. The original Thingiverse thread file is down there, as is a link to my website if you're interested in buying any of the products that I make. Finally, like and subscribe to the channel if you like what you are seeing. It helps me as a content creator know what you guys like and what you want to see more of. Lastly, everybody, have a wonderful day. That I want to use. The color seems cool. What we're going to do is we're going to make wooden rings for threaded rings. Turn the lid, add the Boys, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day. Why did I say ladies and gentlemen?